What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are having an amazing day, night, whatever it might be for you. Just hope everything's going well. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Yeah, today's video is going to be about, are you an NPC? Are you a non-playable character, man? That's the question. That is the question for today. Yeah, first things first, we got to get straight, what is an NPC? Because that can mean different things to different people, just like anything, different perspectives, different experiences. It all changes, how you see things. So, at least to me, an NPC in real life, obviously in a video game, it's whatever, some fucking random ass dude, but in real life, man, NPCs are people that they just kind of go through life, not really thinking at all. They're kind of like, if you ever heard the term, philosophical zombies, that's what it kind of means to me. It's just someone that just isn't conscious about the decisions they make. You just look at them and you're like, yeah, you're not real, bro. You're not real. They just do the stupidest things, man, and they're just, you know, they don't really have thoughts, man. They're just kind of like, I don't want to say like retarded, but you know, they're just kind of people that just live life every day. They don't think, and they just act based on their emotions. And that's how we act as human beings. But you can't base everything you do off your emotions, right? That's a fact. So, yeah. Anyway, so how do you tell if you are an NPC and how do you not be an NPC? Is kind of the whole purpose of this video. So, if you're just kind of going through life, going through the motions, just kind of, existing and not really living your life, then I would say you're an NPC, you know? However, if you're an NPC, but at least you're like conscious about it, you're like, yeah, like I don't really do much, but I'm okay with that because that's what makes me happy. Then okay, like sure, I understand that, but it's all just about being conscious about yourself, and that ties into my first video where I was talking about thinking for yourself. It's basically goes hand in hand, man. It's just all about, being true to yourself and not just regurgitating everything else you've heard, because that's the reality of this world is not many people actually think, and they just kind of regurgitate everything that everyone else says, and it's like that's not even your true thought or you believe in, that's just someone else's. So yeah, it's just about, thinking and being yourself. That's truly how you avoid being an NPC, and it all boils down to just having purpose within your life, trying to find purpose. And also, I guess you could say find purpose, but in my point of view, it's more about creating purpose, right? And that ties into, life isn't about finding yourself, it's actually about creating yourself. Which is true, and it's true because there's nothing to find, right? The future hasn't been written. At least to me, that's what makes sense. So it's more about creating yourself. But yeah, man. The moral of the story, the moral of the video, just don't be an NPC. Think for yourself. Don't believe everything you hear, and don't just regurgitate everything you hear. Think for yourself, my boy. That's the main message of this entire channel. Okay, so anyways, boys, thank you for watching. If you're even watching at all, appreciate you, boys, and peace out, yo.